But yeah, so we're staying at Coronado Springs. When we arrived, we asked if we could have a room that was a little bit closer to everything because of my mobility. So they found us a room in the Casitas, which is actually fairly close to everything. I think the cabanas are slightly closer. But yeah, this is lovely. So we're on the second floor. I can't remember what room number we are, but I'll find that out later. But yeah, it's a really lovely room. Here's the door. It's a door like any other Disney door. There's a light switch next to it. Next to the door is this window, and this is our view out onto this really lovely little peaceful courtyard, which is really nice. There's lots of these little courtyards around. A couple of them have got fountains in, and they are very pretty. So yeah, this is our room. Like I said, it's on the second floor, and there's a lift, so that's really good. I will say curtains are brilliant. Very, very like blackout. It is quite dark. It is still really dark in this room, and the curtains are closed at the moment. It's obviously not full daylight yet, but I'll pop some lights on. So as you come in, there's the stuff we wore on the flight that I had to just wash last night because we both managed to spill things on ourselves. I love the artwork in here. Yeah, so we've got two big beds, huge under the bed storage, so our suitcases are under there. I will say these beds are crazy high and I really struggle to get in them. I absolutely need to boost up. But yeah, it's a sort of a standard room. You've got some shelves here, coffee making stuff, tea and coffee, which is, well, Joffrey's obviously, and there's an English breakfast tea from Twinings, which I had this morning. There is a fridge in here. A chair, this lovely table, desk thing, some of the ears I brought with me, and obviously we've already been and got our refillable cups. There's lots of storage here. My favourite thing when we came into the room was that it said "Welcome Stephen's Party" on the TV. I thought that was brilliant, and it says Stephen's Party on the TV. I'm really excited about that. This is the first time I've stayed in a Disney resort, so yeah, very excited. So these are the beds. There is a fan in the room, which I did turn off just before we went to bed. It's not noisy as such, but it does make a noise, and I think if that kind of thing bothered you, you'd want to turn it off. But so I did turn it off when we went to bed, and then I put it back on again at about 3 o'clock this morning because I was sweating. And it is, I think rooms like this with air conditioning and stuff like that, having the breeze from the fan is really nice. But yeah, so over here we've got there's a safe in here. There's just this little drawer here which I filled with pills. Pretty standard stuff. USBs, plugs next to the bed. These little reading lights are fun but crazy bright. I found out when I blinded myself with it last night. But yeah, it's a standard Disney room. It is lovely. I really, really like this recycling / trash can. But yeah, we've got a full length mirror here, which I'm not going to show you all of me in it because I'm in my pajamas, but full length mirror. And then you've got a big mirror in the bathroom. Showers through there. I'm not going to show you because Neil's in there. And then there's stacks of storage in the bathroom. Great big huge mirror. It's nice and bright in here, which I really like. And then you've got this big wardrobe as well.
And there is an ironing board and some spare pillows and blankets in there as well.
So yeah, so it's a really lovely room. I think Neil's coming out of the shower shortly, so I will turn this off in a minute. But yeah, lovely room, nice and big, very happy to be staying in here.
So the first part of this tour is going from the main first bus stop at the Destino Tower through the lobby and sort of out towards our rooms. Coronado Springs is an American Southwest sort of inspired hotel. It's a moderate resort and it is huge. It's massive. The lobby and check-in and everything is in this sort of main tower bit, and then underneath on this bottom floor is the Dahlia Lounge, which is really lovely, and it's got its own little bar menu. And then you head through the lobby down to the lifts, which take you to the rest of the resort. The hotel is lovely. The Dahlia Lounge is stunning. We did have a drink in here one night and listened to a little bit of Spanish guitar, which was fun. The Destino Tower is a fairly new addition and it's got lots of conference facilities now, and we did find that over the weekends whilst we stayed there it was really busy with conferences. It is a bit of a trek from the main lobby to sort of the rest of the resort, so where the food and the little shop and the rooms are, it's a really big resort, and I think if you have mobility issues you might struggle a bit with this resort just due to the sheer size of it. This part we've just walked through used to be where the check-in and the lobby was, and then you can sort of head through here either down to the cafeteria area, which is called El Mercado. There's a little cafe there which is open till about 12:30, and there are lots of different ways out onto the resort. We headed out of this side door which takes you just to where there's like an outside lounge bar. If you continue round to the left you get to the casitas, which is where our room was. Next we're walking from just underneath the tower around the resort basically. So right in the middle of the resort is a lake, and then all of the rooms and sort of facilities, amenities and stuff sit around the outside of the lake. To the left here is where the long corridor to the lobby is. Through that door and sort of in this bottom part of the building is where the cafeteria, and there's a grill in there, there's a conference centre, and then on the right is the Laguna Bar, which is a lovely little outside bar. The different room areas sit around the very outside of everything, so the ranchos, cabanas and casitas all sit around the outside, and I think the ranchos are probably the furthest away, and they are quite a trek over to the other side of the resort, so bear that in mind, that unless you sort of drive and you're parked behind your room, a lot of this resort is going to be pretty far away. The resort itself is stunning. It is so pretty. We found it relatively quiet other than when there were masses and masses of cheerleaders there having a competition. But like I said, it is a conference resort, and we did notice that there were a lot of people around for conferences, which meant one of the grill bar was closed quite a lot for that event, so you weren't always able to make a reservation there, and we found that the Three Bridges bar in the middle of the lake was often quite busy because of these conferences. But yeah, like I said, it is a stunning resort. It's huge, it has lots of pools. This is sort of one of the side pool areas, and it's all very pretty. And like I said, we found it really quiet. There's plenty of places to sit down. It's really green, it's really lush. The lake is stunning. And each sort of set of rooms has its own sort of themed planting, which I just thought was really cool. The rooms are all pretty much of a similar size and similar layout. Just if you need to be a little bit closer to the main lobby, it is definitely worth asking for a room that is a bit closer. I can't stress it enough, this is a huge resort. It's very difficult to walk around. I luckily was in the wheelchair and Neil pushed me, so it wasn't too much of a struggle for me. But yeah, if you don't like walking, this probably isn't the resort for you. So there's one of the car parks behind some of the rooms there. It's a really nice resort. You have to look out for alligators and snakes. There are designated running trails, which I thought was really good if you're into that sort of thing. And this was the butterfly garden, and blink and you'll miss it, but basically it was a butterfly shrub. I was quite excited to see the butterfly garden as promised on the hotel information, but when I found out it was more of a butterfly shrub, it was a bit disappointing. So we're heading round to the right of that bridge we've just walked across towards the dig site, which is the main pool area. And just to give you an idea, the other side of the lake there is where the main lobby and things are, so it is sort of quite a trek. Luckily the bridges do make it a little bit easier. It is a little bit quicker to head across the bridges than it is to go all the way around the outside. Yeah, we're sort of heading to the main pool area now. That's one of the bridges you can take back over to the other side. And this is the dig site. So this was quite a cool little area. Really busy though, very busy. And it started getting busy from sort of 10 o'clock onwards. And despite the sign saying not to, there were quite a lot of people claiming their sun lounges with towels. So on the left there is a nice volleyball area. and then also on the left is the bar area, and you can also get food here. It's like a quick service and I think mobile order as well. The pool is on the right there. There were people in it, so we didn't film in there. But it's really cool. There's a big slide. It is a lovely pool. We did spend a day sort of sitting there relaxing. It is a really nice pool. It's got lifeguards, and I think it has entertainment throughout the day as well. Some ping pong tables here, and there's an arcade which we didn't get a chance to go in, but looked really fun. And then there's a playground as well, which was really nice. So yeah, we're heading back out of the dig site now, and this was about sort of 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, so it is pretty quiet in there. There were plenty of seats, plenty of places to sit down, lots of sun loungers, lots of umbrellas if you need a bit of shade outside the bar area, which is pretty cool. And in here is a hot tub, which I'm sure I read somewhere is the largest hot tub on Disney Resort. I didn't know about that. We didn't go in it. I'm not a fan of a hot tub, but yeah, apparently it's a very big hot tub. So heading back out of the dig site now and continuing around to the left, back towards the Destino Tower, again around the outside of the resort. We've not crossed the bridges back yet. There's the lake and lots of fountains. There's lots of wildlife about, which I really liked. I didn't see any snakes or alligators, but I did see lots of lizards and squirrels, which was pretty cool. So we're still heading around the left-hand side of the lake back towards the Destino Tower. There are lots more rooms around here. Everything is 2-storey, and I think nearly all the buildings have a lift in, which is quite good, but it might be worth you requesting a ground floor room if you need that. The whole resort itself is really flat and smooth. There are no sort of uneven surfaces around, which is really good, and it made getting around in the wheelchair really easy. And I thought this was a really fun touch, this sort of like beachy sandy area, and it had hammocks and a place to sit, which I thought was really cool, so you just kind of feel like you're in that beachy atmosphere overlooking the lake. The view from these rooms must be really lovely. Across that lake, just looking at the tower is stunning. It really is a lovely resort. There's laundry facilities dotted around, lots of pools dotted around. We aren't 100% sure, but the only refill station we found was at that main dig site pool bar and in the main lobby. I don't know if there are more refill stations around, but certainly the one in the main lobby was only open till 11 o'clock at night, which isn't ideal. There are some vending machines around, but if you're looking for a free refill late at night, I'm not really 100% sure what you do. The one problem I had with Coronado Springs is that maybe the food choices weren't that great. There are a few restaurants. There's the Three Bridges or Villa del Lago in the middle of the lake. There is the Toledo, which is the restaurant at the top of the Destino Tower. There's the Dahlia Lounge. There's the Mayan Grill, the Mikado, and Rick's. I will say the quick service at Coronado Springs I didn't think was that great. There wasn't a huge choice, and I will be talking about food and gluten-free choices in a separate vlog, but yeah, I just didn't think there was that good a choice really. Not ideal, and whilst there were plenty of restaurants to choose from, they are quite expensive. Toledo especially is very expensive. We didn't eat there because of how expensive it was. We did have food from Villa del Lago a couple of times, and we also had mobile order from there as well, which was fine. But yeah, I do think the food choices here aren't great. As with all Disney resorts, there is a place under the tower to watch Disney movies at night, which is lots of fun, and there are some sort of outdoor activities like cornhole and giant chess. And we also found shuffleboard just outside where our rooms were, which was pretty cool. So we've now sort of come full circle right back to the lobby area. And just on the right of us there is that lounge bar, which again also serves food like chips and burgers and stuff. And yeah, that opens, I think it opens at about 4:30, and it sells very expensive drinks. We did have a couple of cocktails, and Neil had some beer from here, which whilst we enjoyed it, it was pretty pricey. So yeah, we're just heading around back to where the main lobby area is. That's on the left there, and we're crossing the main sort of bridge that takes you from one side of the lake to the other. This is a really nice little place to walk over, and there are some seat areas dotted around on the bridges, so you can sort of just sit and chill and do what I like to do, which is people watch. And it's just really nice to walk across the lake, and it does cut across your walking time from one side of the resort to the other. That's the Villa del Lago over there, which we ate a couple of times. It's a really fun little outdoors, indoors restaurant serving tapasy type things, burgers, steaks. We ate there, like I said, a couple of times and really enjoyed it. I would highly recommend heading over to the Three Bridges if you're looking for food when you're staying at Coronado. It is advisable to pre-book, I think, because whilst you can add yourself to the walk-up list, we did find it was pretty busy there most nights, so it is worth joining the walk-up list or making a reservation. I think it is a good 15-10 minute walk, depending on how fast you walk. It is a fair old walk from one side of the lake to the other. So after we've crossed this main bridge, we've headed to the left. If we'd have gone right, we'd have been back at the dig site, but we're going to head round to the left and look at what I would say the most furthest away rooms. And whilst the theming at sort of this end of the resort is stunning, I mean, you felt like you were in a completely different country. It was really lovely. They are very far away. I think these are probably the furthest away rooms, and if you've got a car and you can park out the back, then great. But if you're walking everywhere and sort of relying on transport, I think it is a little bit out of the way. But it is pretty quiet on this end. There is a pool back here somewhere, I'm not sure where, but there was one. And this resort does have 4 bus stops, but bear in mind that it stops at Destino Tower. Even though that Destino Tower stop is stop number 1, that is the actual last stop it stops at. So the bus goes to stops 2, 3 and 4 and then back to 1. So you can quite often find that by the time it gets back to the first bus stop, it is already full with people that have got on at the other stops on this resort. So we did find the buses were often quite busy. There was a bit of a wait for the buses, or for me, I had to sort of take my wheelchair or get out of my wheelchair and sit down on the bus. I had to transfer, which is fine for me, but isn't fine for everyone. So I think potentially you could end up waiting a really long time for a bus, and we did end up getting an Uber a couple of times just because it was a lot quicker to do that than hang around and wait for a bus. And the same sort of on the way home in the evenings, we did find the buses were very busy, and we quite often got off at stop 1 because that was the closest to our room, and we were on the bus last, and there's a lot of people getting on, people getting off, and it just makes it a little bit of a nightmare when you're in a wheelchair trying to get back off the bus again. So we walked all the way around the resort and back around the top side of the dig site, which takes you out just to the left hand side of the dig site onto the main path again, and we took one of the other bridges back across towards the tower. This bridge I thought was really pretty. At night it's all lit up with like little fairy lights, and it just looks really beautiful at night. To be fair, the whole resort looks lovely at night, and you can actually, if you were in one of the higher rooms and were in the right direction, you can actually see the Magic Kingdom fireworks from the tower, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, so we're just heading back towards the tower across this other bridge, and if we'd have carried on this way, we would have been back to the dig site, and that was just the Three Bridges restaurant just in front of us there. So for this last part of our resort tour, we are heading from where our room was back into the lobby building. Mousekeeping was brilliant. They came every other day. You can request them more or less than that, but at the moment, due to sort of pandemic rules, it is every other day. I think that is likely to change fairly soon, but that's how it was as of May 22. Most of the buildings have lifts, which is ideal. And then our room, like I said, was fairly close. We requested a closer room just to make it easier for my mobility. And this sort of little courtyard outside our block of rooms had this fabulous little fountain, and just on the other side of that fountain was a shuffleboard, and if you'd have continued across the other side there, you could have headed into one of the conference areas. We didn't obviously explore the conference areas because, well, there were conferences going on and that would have been, you know, a bit rude. So it is worth noting that obviously a lot of this resort is outside, so if you're heading from the main lobby to one of the other buildings and it is chucking it down, you are going to get really wet. We were quite lucky in that our route from the main lobby to our block of rooms, you were able to stay under cover, but this is the only sort of bit of the resort where you can do that. The rest of it is not undercover. You are going to get wet if you're heading from the lobby to ranchos or casitas or the cabanas. We're heading back in this door now, which takes us into the main building again. That's the Mayan Grill on the right there, and if we head around, on the right of us is the Mercado, which is the quick service area, and where the refill stations are. That area does close at 11 o'clock at night, as you after 11 you can't get food or drinks in there. That's the big sort of food area. The conference area is down there, and then just on the right of us is Rick's, where we had breakfast and I had very nice pancakes. Again, we'll talk about the food separately. And then if we head down this very long corridor, we've got Rick's Cafe, which is open from 7:30 till 12 every day. And then we're going in Panchitos, which is the shop. It's your standard Disney resort shop. It's got resort merch. It has standard sort of Disney items, clothes, bags, that kind of thing. Ears, pins. There is the pin trading in here as well, and there is also pin trading in the main check-in lobby. But yeah, this shop has lots of bits and pieces, including sort of your food and bits and pieces that you may have forgotten for the holidays, like nappies, baby lotion, paracetamol, that kind of thing. The one thing it didn't have for some reason was sun cream. That never seemed to stock sun cream the whole time we were there, so just bear that in mind. And then we headed out this door, and this takes us to what is our closest bus stop, which is bus stop 1 at the Destino Tower. So we were really close to the bus stop, which was ideal really, and if we wanted to get an Uber, we just headed up a bit further to the main lobby. So all in all, Coronado Springs is a great moderate resort. It was a lot of fun to stay here. We had a really nice time. Our room was great and we really enjoyed our stay here. The only problems for us really were just the sheer size of the resort and the fact that the quick serve wasn't the best, and sort of your other food options here are pretty pricey. So those are all things to bear in mind. But overall, we loved this resort and would definitely stay there again. So that is it from me for this vlog. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon with another video.